Hi guys, Ashura here, and in this video I will be talking about my thoughts on chapter 864 as well as chapter 865 One Piece, the plot to assassinate Germa and Hey Mother respectively. So in terms of progression, there wasn't really much progression. The only real progression that happened in the two chapters is Big Mom blew her fuse. Yes, we got to see the ability and power of a couple of Charlotte kids, and we saw the reaction of the Germa, and we also saw the reaction of the other guests. But all in all, the only real progression was Big Mom blowing her fuse, in spite of Charlotte Katakuri doing his best to prevent Luffy from showing the broken photo of Mother Caramel to Big Mom. Now, among the characters whose powers was introduced, it was Daifuku and Owen. Now, this Daifuku guy has some lamp devil fruit, and with this, he can actually cast a genie. Now, this genie is actually really impressive. That is because even though Daifuku is a paramecia, this genie, the way it moves around and the way it's just made up of smoke, actually makes it somewhat like a Logia. So you need somebody with Haki to fight him. So that leaves us with only two choices in Luffy and Sanji. I don't think Jinbei knows Haki, and neither do the Minks. So that leaves us with the Germa, and since none of them really wanted to fight back against the assassination attempt, it looks like they don't have any Haki based attacks. Otherwise, they would have tried to fight back. By the looks of it, Luffy and Capone is gonna be fighting Katakuri, whereas Sanji is gonna be fighting this Daifuku guy. I would have actually liked to see a fight of observational haki between Katakuri and Sanji, but looks like it's not gonna happen. Maybe in the future it might happen, and these battles actually might only happen if these guys are still conscious. But since these guys are close to Sweet Commander level, I don't think they'll faint that easily from Big Mom's Conqueror's Haki. But if they do, that really shows the power of Big Mom. Next is the Oven guy who uses the Heat Devil Fruit. And if you've actually watched the fillers in One Piece, you would actually realize that this Devil Fruit has already been used in the fillers. So kinda makes me wonder if the fillers is being done without the consent of Oda. If this guy is still conscious, Jinbei would be a wonderful opponent to him. That is because uses water to fight and he uses heat to fight. So it's going to be a literal clash of fire and water. Now, having said all that, I need to move on to Pudding. Now, Pudding does not know as to why she is fighting, and that's why she cannot get a clear grip and shoot at Sanji. Yes, Sanji is fast and he can dodge all her bullets, but she does not have it in her to kill him now that he has said that her third eye is beautiful. It's gonna be really interesting to see what Big Mom's reaction will be after this entire arc on Pudding if nothing is done. But I am pretty sure something will be done, and Big Mom won't kill her or won't really punish her. And what will be more interesting will be if the Sanji and the rest of the Straw Hats leave just right now, and they take Pudding with them. And Sanji says to Pudding, "Look, Pudding, you are my wife now, and you gotta stay with me and be with me here." And they actually force her into joining the Straw Hat crew. Yeah, I know this is crazy, but that's gonna be even more crazy if Oda does it. And the way Pudding is right now, she might be actually the key into Big Mom becoming the ally of the Straw Hats, because she has the ability to change the memories of any person, and that includes Big Mom herself. Now, Judge has realized that his entire life was pointless, and he really is just thinking back as to how he led his life. He knows that all his life he wanted to take revenge on the kings of the North Blues. For that, he created his three perfect sons with a slight imperfection, that is, they have no feelings. Now, what he thought was their greatest strength turned out to be their greatest weakness. He really thought that if he creates people with no feelings, they'd be incredibly strong, but now he's seeing that it has a fatal flaw, which is in situation of hopelessness, they won't fight back and they welcome death. They accept it and they have no fear to try and overcome it. And now that he's seeing Sanji fight, who he thought was his most useless son, is actually the one who is saving him right now. I think with this, Judge will definitely change and he will see Sanji as to who he really is and he will really appreciate him more. I think this is what will make him realize that Sanji is the perfect person to rule Germa 66 once he is gone or once he retires. And once all of this is over, we're going to see a little more lament from Judge, and he will say as to how he misjudged him and how he should have believed in his wife Sora. All of that will come back to him, and we will see a lot more crying and a little patheticness from Judge. Next is Reiju. Now, Reiju did not think that Sanji would not use this opportunity to run away, just like the last time when he ran away when he was a little kid. The number of times Reiju got impressed by Sanji is almost uncountable. I mean, each time Sanji does something, Reiju is impressed. Man, she really loves her younger brother. I think she'll play a really important role in knocking some sense into Judge Windsmoke and make him open his eyes and realize what actually is going on. I think at this point she has complete confidence in Sanji and Luffy and Co. And she truly believes that Germa will not die today. And this is what she needs to. This faith is what she needs to tell to Judge Windsmoke. She needs to make Judge Windsmoke believe in her son, which whom he considered a failure. Now coming to Ichiji, Niji, and Yonji. I'm not so sure about Yonji, but I'm pretty sure Ichiji and Niji will not show any gratitude. Actually, there was a theory floating around saying that they won't show, and I completely agree with that. These guys have no emotion. They just accept everything that is going on. So they just believe that what Sanji did was just to be expected. It's something on that lines. So I'm pretty sure these guys won't show any gratitude. And if Judge does something, they might actually do a rebellion or something like that, because Judge has trained them to become the kings of North Blue. And if Judge goes against it, they might actually want to kill Judge, Reiju, and Sanji, anyone who opposes them. In fact, this might pretty much be the reason why Capone's plan will fail. I mean, I think Capone will just leave the Straw Hats behind, and there could be a fight between Ichiji, Niji, and Sanji and Luffy, just because those guys are pretty stubborn and don't really give a damn about anyone's feelings, and they might even go against Judge's own commands. Now, Capone was really awesome in the previous two chapters. He made sure that the plan would stick as much as possible to the original plan, and he was a person who figured out as to why Big Mom is not unleashing her Conqueror's Haki even after it has been 3 seconds. I mean, he also figured out the weakness in Katakuri's ability to predict the future. That is, even though you can predict the future, you can't change it, you can only observe it, and that makes you pretty much as good as anyone here. And that was a pretty good dialogue, if I have to say so. All in all, Capone has been so far true to his word, and I think he will still be a little true to this word. Like, he'll say, "Look, 10 seconds are over. I'm gonna leave." So he's not gonna wait for the Straw Hats. He will leave, and even that'll feel like a betrayal, is what I believe. He'll not be exactly betraying, but he will be kind of betraying because he's not gonna wait for the Straw Hats. Next is Charlotte Katakuri. Man, he was really a hyped up character. and he did all the best in the previous. He did his best in the previous two chapters, but if you ask me honestly, all he did was like being a dog and running from that side to this side, trying his best to prevent the worst possible situation from happening. And even though he was a real thorn in for the Straw Hats, he didn't really do much. And I'm not sure as to how pissed he will be when he realizes that his efforts has failed and how he's gonna take out all of his anger on Capone and Luffy. And it'll actually be really boring if he has fainted from Conqueror's Haki. I mean, he is the strongest person in the Big Mom forces apart from Big Mom herself. So if he faints from her Conqueror's Haki, it will be extremely comical. And finally, at the end, we go to Elbaf where we see the 5-year-old Big Mom, and we are most probably going to see a lot of flashback in the next few chapters to come. And I think these flashbacks will make Big Mom remember as to how she was before becoming a Yonko, before becoming so arrogant, and before becoming so fixated on things. I think this flashback might actually make her realize as to who she really is, and she might change and in the end become an ally of the Straw Hats. I think this flashback is going to be really important for her to change. I think this is because Oda is showing us her thoughts her present thoughts. That Oda is not showing her actual like what happened in the past. He is showing what Big Mom is actually thinking about at present. It is like Law trying to think about his past. Same thing, she's thinking about her past, and this might actually show her true nature, and we might see as to how she will change. So overall, for 864, I'm gonna give uh, 7.5, and for 865, I'm gonna give 8 because there wasn't really any story progression. So that's the reason I'm giving such uh, middle range ratings. With this, I have completed my video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. If you want to be notified for my future content, please do subscribe. And if you have something to say about this video, please do so in the comment section. This is Ashura the Demon signing off. Bye bye guys.